Hi my loves, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you are well. Today we're going to talk about a topic that is very important right now and that is very close to me in what I'm moving through at this very moment. And it's about how to process difficult emotions. I recently lost someone who passed over to the afterlife. And it's painful. And it's also beautiful in different ways. But regardless of that, we're all moving through challenging times. And life in general can be challenging. I love what Glennon Doyle often says, that life is brutal and life is beautiful. And so she says it's brutal. And I think that's so true. Just because it hurts or just because it's uncomfortable doesn't mean it doesn't have meaning, or that we can't move through it in healthy ways. So this is a 5-step process of feeling and releasing emotions and feelings in healthy ways. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe. If you like what you see, I put out new videos every week. And like this video if you do. And please comment anything you want to see more or less of, or your experience with this exercise in the comments below. So the reason why I think it's so important for us to learn how to process and release our feelings is the fact that we live our lives, most of us live our lives so much from our minds. And we forget that we are emotional beings. We have so many feelings in one day, and most of them might actually pass through us quite quickly and in healthy ways, but some of them get stuck because we don't feel them. I think we so often think that we have processed an emotion by thinking about it, and so we think our emotions instead of feeling them, and those are two totally different processes. I'm not saying it's not okay to think and analyze and try to understand what's going on in our emotional life. I'm just saying those are different processes, and we need to learn how to feel our feelings as well. Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about this in such an articulate way. What happens over time when an emotion or feeling gets stuck? So he talks about the journey from having a feeling to getting into a mood, to when it gets stuck and time accumulates, you actually have a temperament that was based on this original feeling. And after a while, or years maybe, you have a personality trait of irritated or annoyed or whatever. So if you don't deal with this emotion that comes up in the beginning or when it comes up, it might actually turn into a mood that you might be in for days or weeks. But after a while, if you're in this mood, this will be part of your temperament, and you will be an annoyed person. With more and more time, this is so much ingrained in you that it's a personality trait. You're an annoyed person because you were irritated at a colleague, and you didn't process that emotion, and it kept accumulating over time. And now it's stuck with you, it's part of you. It doesn't have to be that way, but you need to know that feelings that are stuck and that we go around carrying, these people that you sometimes come across that are always angry or always annoyed or always projecting things out into the world because they have this emotion that's ingrained in them, that is part of their being. And we don't want that. We want the emotions to come up. That's super healthy. We need to feel them and then let them move through us so that we can be free. We are not our emotions, just as we are not our thoughts. We have them and they can move through us. So this 5-step process is a great way of practicing feeling our feelings instead of thinking them. And before I even start talking about this, I just want to remind you that we're human. It's easy to get triggered. and we need to practice this. So the first step of this process is to label the feeling. And we don't want to be too specific in this or go into nuances, because that can actually activate our thinking mind. So you just want to, if it's a triggering emotion, you want to keep it in the spectrum of, is it anger, sadness, shame, or fear that you're feeling? So you don't have to go into irritation or annoyance or guilt or I don't know, all kinds of nuances of these feelings. You just try to label them with these 4 main feelings. So it's anger, it's sadness, it's shame, or it's fear. So once you have identified if it's in the range of these emotions, well, now you have the label that you need. So the second step is to go into the body. Where in your body are you feeling this feeling? And the first reaction to this sometimes when I do this with my clients is like, well, I don't know. I don't feel it anywhere. But then when I ask, how do you know that you are angry? And I give them some space to actually feel into that. How do I know that? If I'm not thinking a lot of angry thoughts, how do I know that I'm feeling the feeling of anger? And when we tap into the body like this, we usually find it somewhere. A lot of the time it's in the chest area or the stomach, maybe in the throat, sometimes around the head. But it might also be somewhere, could be in your finger. So the second step is to locate where the feeling is in your body. The third step is to question, what is the feeling doing? What is happening where you are feeling your feeling? It might be pulsing, it might be ticking, it might be cold or warm or numb. It might be stabbing. What is the feeling doing? And now when you have a general label, a location, and you feel what this feeling is doing in your body, put all your attention on this spot, which is the 4th step, and just allow it. Allow, 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 allow. Just notice and breathe. You don't have to do anything else. You don't have to change it. You don't want to resist it. You just notice that it's there. Most feelings move like waves through us, and it doesn't take more than 90 seconds for the wave to pass through. So you won't have to do this for very long. But for those 90 seconds, and give it more if it needs it, just be there with the feeling. Feel the feeling. Maybe you can even be curious, but don't go into your thinking mind. Just notice all the details of what this feeling is feeling like. And as you notice, after a while, the feeling starts to release. Now's the time for the 5th step. If this feeling had a voice, what would it say? Is there a message in this feeling? You don't want to do this step earlier because it might activate your thinking mind. But when you ask this question, try to stay with your gut feeling or your intuition. If this feeling had a voice, what would it say to me? Maybe something comes up very clearly, like I need to put down a boundary. I need some rest. I need some breaths. I need to give myself more time to play. I need to relax. I need to drink more water. Maybe something clear like that shows up. Maybe nothing comes up. That's okay too. You don't have to reap from every feeling that you're feeling. But just know that when you've asked this question, the answer might come up later as well. So those were the 5 steps of feeling a feeling. I'm sure there are many other different ways of doing this, but this is the way that I normally use. Put a general word on the feeling. Locate where it is in the body. What is the feeling doing? Now that you know what it is and where it is, feel it. Allow it. Just breathe and notice for as long as it takes. When you feel the feeling starts to release, Is there anything I need to know from this? Is there a message in this? If this feeling had a voice, what would it say? And as I said, we are human, we are easily triggered sometimes, usually depending on lack of sleep or lack of nutrition or lack of self-love. That's okay. You will not always succeed in this. That's totally normal and okay. But you can practice. And with time, I promise you, this practice will serve you so well. So you can feel and release emotions and feelings in a healthy way so they don't need to get stuck. And you can be free. And I think you've heard me say this before, but I truly believe it's true. Hurt people hurt people. So when we don't process our emotions and we go around carrying too much pain over too long a time, we will start projecting it onto others. But healed people heal people. So when you take care of yourself first, you will have so much more to give to the world. And that's exactly what we need right now. I really hope this serves you. Let me know what you think and how this process went for you, if you've tried it. I wish you an aware, a feeling and releasing rest of the week. Bye.